were right there?
So the game day routine was always get to the stadium. I know a lot of pitchers like to show up whenever, because the starting guy can show up, an hour before the game, whenever. I like to view it as I'm not special because these guys show up day in and day out. I'm talking about the fielders, and they play
Mm-hmm.
every single game, and I come in and play 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 3 or whatever it may have been. I'm like, I'm not special. So I have no reason or no excuse to show up, 10 minutes or an hour, or, 30 seconds before game time. Like, I'm going to get to the stadium when they get to the stadium. If that
Mm-hmm.
means I just sit in the locker room with my headphones in, just hanging out, vibing, then that's what it's going to be. But I never felt like I was bigger than anybody in that locker room because I wasn't. And that's my mindset. So I would show up about 2 hours, whatever report time was, about 2 hours. Most of the time was away, 2 hours before game. And then around an hour and 10 minutes exactly, I would start moving my body. I'd start slowly stretching out, foam rolling, and everything. And then about 45 minutes of a stretch routine, slow, make sure every part of my body was stretched out, so I wouldn't have any pulls or cramps. I would start heating and stemming my body with the massage gun, and then after that, I would head to the field and start throwing.
Oh wow! So you had a pretty big routine. That's how I was though. I had the same mindset. Everyone's day in day out, and you're the pitcher. Even though I love to be fielding too, I love that shit. But pitching was just on the resume. And but I was always, whenever they were hitting, I always had to end up doing the bucket. And it got to the point where I was like, this is just getting tiring. Like I hate doing the bucket all the time. Like
Oh,
with
I
hitting
mean,
BP.
they always made the guy that pitched the night before do bucket, so that was always,
That's a good
I mean,
rule. Maybe
yeah,
our team didn't
but
do that.
but they always made the rookies do bucket, so I had bucket quite a few times, more than I had to care. I would like to care to admit, but I had the bucket. But I will ask this though: did you ever get bombed when you're on the bucket?
Would you're not paying attention, you get drilled.
No, no, no. So bomb is when like you have all the outfielders, all the pitchers, or they all get a ball without showing it to you, and then you're on bucket, and then on three they go 1, 2, 3, and you got everybody lob the ball at you at once, and you're sitting there going, "Oh my god!" And most of the time, everybody just sits there and takes it, and I looked at it, just walked away, and I was like, "I'm not picking all this up, you guys," because I did it. I was a part of throwing bombs at the new guys, and I had it done to me all the time. It was just a way of like giving the new guy a hard time. But
I
yeah,
I that
you
never happened to me.
you
No,
never got bombed? Oh, dude,
no.
it's kind of funny though because the expression everybody gives, including myself, was just like, God, like, okay, great, but now I got to pick up like 30 balls that came out of nowhere.
And then
But
your
then now
coach is bitching for balls to come
oh yeah.
back.
Oh, the thing is that like it's all about the timing because you got to do it. You got to like time up with what the coach is looking at. Like you got to look at his bucket. Like, all right, he's running low. All right, so now he's gonna need balls pretty soon. Like let's get all these balls to this guy at this second because you're sitting there like where you're looking at your bucket, you're looking around like where'd all the balls go? Like you don't have any of them, but they're getting hit, so you just don't you don't have them. And then you're like, oh crap, I got to pick up 15 to 30 balls or whatever it is within like 10 seconds because the coach is screaming at you, he needs balls. And then he starts getting mad at you because he looks behind him and all he sees are these balls everywhere. Like, you're not doing your
He's
job.
like, "What's the? Yeah, you're not doing your job."
So it's like, not only are you screwing with him, like getting him like just absolutely just beyond like overwhelmed with baseballs flying everywhere, you're getting him in trouble with the coach and he's just like, I don't know what to do. So it's
Well,
just,
I don't think I had I think I had a version of the bomb because what I used to my first baseman actually called out our team one time because uh it was getting to the point where it's so annoying. Like people would pick up a ball, but they would just like lob it back in. They're deep outfield. They just lob it back in, and you have to go out and get it. And so that was my version of the bomb. Everyone wouldn't even get close to the bucket, so I wouldn't have to. I'd have to go everywhere to go pick it up. And I was like, this is just getting too annoying. And to the point where the one point I just stopped doing it, and my coach was like, "Adam, go do it." And like I had, when he called me out, I had to go do it. But the times he forgot, my first baseman was like, he's like, "Guys, someone else has to do this. Another pitcher has to do this." Because I was always the first one showing up with the fielders. So that's where that feeling came. I was like, dude, I'm so annoyed by this stuff.
No, I get it. It's the most monotonous work. Nobody really understands how much it sucks to be on bucket duty. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's not that bad." No, it sucks. It's the worst job in baseball. I feel like you're
I
sitting
agree.
there and you turn around. There's a ball going past you because the right fielder threw one in, and you go to get it. You turn around, the other ball's going right past you again because the left fielder threw it. And you're just like, God, man. Every time I turn around, there's a new ball rolling past me. I have to go chase like a dog to go get. It's the most
well, for
monotonous work.
Well, for anyone who just didn't understand any of that conversation, pretty much bucket duty is when the fielders and batters are taking BP, batting practice. The coach is throwing to them, and they have to hit it out. And you're standing usually behind second base, right in the line of the outfield and infield, and there's a screen in front of you. You have a bucket, and then everyone's catching the balls and chucking it back to you. So you give it back to coach, and just the process. But yeah, so